This artwork is called Dinos of the Gorgon Painter, made by an unnamed artist around 580 BC in Athens and found in Etruria. It entered the Louvre in 1861 with the purchase of Pietro Campana's collection. It is made out of clay.
Several techniques were used in the making of the Dinos of the Gorgon Painter. The Dinos of the Gorgon Painter underwent a firing process called three-phase firing. The clay used in the making of the Dinos was added clay, which had a very high iron content. The first phase in the three-phase firing was kindling. The vase was put in a kiln with temperatures of up to 900 degrees for 8 hours. During this process, the iron in the added clay would turn into red hematite. The second phase was vitrification, where oxygen supplies are cut in the kiln, and the red hematite turns into black hematite due to a chemical reaction. The last phase is rekindling, where the black hematite turns red again, except for the decorations, which were sealed by vitrification. Another example is black figure pottery technique, and the Dinos was one of the first works to display this way of decoration. The black figure pottery technique is where figures and animals were colored black on a lighter background, usually light yellow or red. To paint a vase in black figure technique, the surface was polished, and a preliminary sketch was then applied and filled in with black and details were added with a sharp tool.
The subject matter of the artwork are Gorgons. Gorgons are three sisters, Cento, Uriel, and Medusa, portrayed as winged, snake-haired creatures. The story of Perseus and Medusa is about Perseus beheading Medusa and is symbolized through the visual interpretation of the Dinos. The Gorgon heads were painted in the belief it would ward away evil. Because the Dinos was seen by a lot of guests, it shows it was not only a decoration, but also to ensure a happy banquet. The myth, Perseus and Medusa, may have been chosen to symbolize the Greeks being Perseus and the enemies being Medusa, to wish luck in future battles so Greece wouldn't be taken over like the Dorians did before.
The Gorgons were hideous sisters in Greek mythology who were immortal and powerful. They were ugly and scary, so much so that anyone who looked at them turned to stone. The Gorgons strike fear into viewers and give off an aura of intimidation and were used in pottery to ward off evil spirits and demons. They were used in the Dinos of the Gorgon Painter, presumably to protect the contents within from apparitions. Gorgons convey despair with their appearance, and hair of snakes are the manifestations of fear.
This artwork tells us about the developments of art in the archaic period, and the Greeks affecting other cultures. It was one of the most important artworks of the time, the first continuous frieze and one of the first black figure vases. The frieze bands of animals show the Corinthian influences on the early black figure style. The fact that it was made in Athens but exported to Etruria shows that different cultures were trading with each other. This artwork also shows the changing ways that myths were passed down. Before, myths were only passed down orally, but this artwork shows that the archaic period had developments such as the Greek alphabet that allowed mythology to be passed on in different ways. This artwork has passed down the myth of Perseus and Medusa.
I think the artist has selected the Gorgons as they were an important part of Greek mythology, which was a very important part of Greek culture. It represents the Greek people's ideas and emphasizes their beliefs, and is very relevant to their society at the time. The Greeks believed strongly in demons and gods, and the Dinos of the Gorgon Painter reflects their beliefs in the supernatural and conveys the artist's feelings to the audience and his passion for their culture.
During the archaic period, there was huge economic and social growth. The Etruscan communities became more open and the society grew. The Dinos would have been used in a banquet to dilute wine with water. The wine jug aspect is linked to the social events of Etruscan and Greek life. Because it was featured in banquets, it shows that the Greeks and Etruscans were very open and liked being together. The mythological aspect is linked to the world because it shows us that the Greeks were wondering about the world and explaining their natural phenomena. The fact it is painted on pottery that was for many people to see also supports that the Greeks were social and powerful because they were spreading their beliefs to the Etruscans.
The style of the Dinos is black figure vase painting and was especially popular in the 6th century BC. It was used to decorate pottery and included intricate details. Characteristics include black as the color for flesh, the use of shapes representing silhouettes, details highlighted with opaque colors, and friezes of animals. It is very similar to African pottery, with the firing phases, but largely the decoration processes and style.
The Dinos of the Gorgon Painter was found in a secret excavation in Etruria and acquired by Pietro Campana. It entered the Louvre Museum in 1861 when Campana's collection was purchased. The Dinos was originally meant for public viewing, featured casually in a banquet. It is now on display for anybody to look at in the Louvre. The artwork is large, 0.93 meters high, and probably would have impressed guests at the banquet, since they would have been lying down. But now when displayed in the Louvre, the size is diminished to the standing audience. The audience who now view the artwork would have noticed the black figure details more than the size, due to the better lighting in the museum.
The audience it would appeal to would be historians, academics, and the general public. It is important information that has been preserved well and can inform historians a great deal about ancient Greek life and culture, and can educate the general public about ancient times in history. It is a rare piece of primary source information on the history of Greece, which will help historians attain a greater and deeper understanding on ancient history.
The Etruscans probably wouldn't have understood the Greek myths on the artwork. It would have been pretty to the Etruscans, but probably nothing much more. The true meaning was probably never understood. However, the Greeks would have understood the meaning and seen it as an artwork that represented a key element of their culture in a new visual way. The Etruscans would have been intrigued, since the artwork was the first continuous frieze and one of the first black figure vases, so they didn't see many artworks like it before, and it was imported into Etruria, making it even more rare.
The audience today would have a different perception to the people in ancient times, due to our beliefs being different. The Gorgon on the Dinos would have invoked fear to the people of ancient Greece because they believed in myths, but nowadays it is extremely rare that people would still believe in mythology. Thus we are not intimidated by a clay drawing of a Gorgon. People's perspectives have changed since ancient times, and now we feel, instead of intimidation, we are interested in the works of ancient humans.